what I want to get into also is just the fact that if it's possible for a plant to eventually turn into something that's carnivorous, isn't it possible that over billions of years it could turn into something that walks about?
Oh, yeah.
Think about it. I mean, it's only a couple steps away now.
Moving creature, yeah. It's already like getting that movement thing. The next step is for it just to not require any type of root and to be mobile.
I know, and that's the whole theory, like secret history-wise, that humans, and maybe I'm adding to this a little bit, this is based off of something from Secret History, but I'm adding a lot of ridiculousness, because what if a tree, think of like billions of years ago, like when shit was ginormous, or just trees we can't even fathom nowadays, that just lived for hundreds if not thousands and thousands of years, just sat about because maybe there was no chaos on Earth too for a long time. A lot of these trees just sat about, and while they sat about, life, grows about and stuff around them and evolves into, from tadpoles, frogs, to this and that, and then we have apes and monkeys and shit.
Yeah.
Over time, on Earth, we have all this life, but then trees are always just sitting there.
Yeah.
And sitting there. And so I think eventually, over thousands of years, just like the universe, it eventually develops consciousness, and then through that consciousness, it develops a want or yearning or a need, and then eventually that need or yearning gets it to eventually uproot itself and start walking. So the whole theory is that humans possibly came from vegetable life. It's called the vegetable life theory, basically. In Secret History and in Masonry, they talk about that humans and humanity, I guess, and our souls kind of came from a vegetable point of life before things turned into a mammal part of life. Like mammals came after vegetation. Vegetation came first. So we technically could be originally from fungus. Fungus is the oldest thing on Earth, and so if you think about it, fungus eventually spread itself the mycelium and stuff around the Earth to the point where it uprooted into plants and trees and shit, and then from there, boom, 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 we eventually get animals and humans and shit. So, I'm not saying a tree went to being a human, I'm just saying through a millennia, or not millennia, but billions of years, just, unfathomable amount of time, things evolved from vegetable life. Fungus could have eventually, like moss instead of lakes, could have turned into like tadpole type creatures, and those tadpoles turn into, frogs and blah, blah, blah. So you can even go off of Darwinism, but Darwinism doesn't make sense unless it came originally from vegetable life. So that is the root of everything, technically, is...
Huh, interesting.
Because that's why we are connected to nature. That's why we are connected to the earth, our feet, or gravity, or whatever it is you want to call it. We are rooted down onto earth. We have veins, just like trees have veins. We go bald, just like trees lose their leaves. Hey, man, we get nutrients from the sun, and we need water constantly, just like a plant. Like,
yeah, we're just complicated houseplants.
Yes, we're just moving about and experiencing the world. So in a way, we're mushrooms, man.
It's funny. The whole time that we're talking about this, like, I know this is totally going way off the rail, but the whole time that we're talking about this, that is reminding me of the fucking creators, the engineers in the Alien series. He drinks the stuff, it decomposes his DNA, and the DNA goes into the stream, and what does it create? It creates life.
Exactly.
Albeit quickly, but from my understanding anyway. I don't know the timeline.
So what if, because in Sumerian texts and stuff, they talk about an Anunnaki, Enlil, or whatever his name is, because there's like Enlil, Enlil, Enki, there's 1,000 of them. Mm-hmm. But one of the main ones, he sacrificed himself. That's why I love that movie, because it reminds me of the ancient alien theory and the Anunnaki thing, where it literally, they had to kill him or have him killed so that they had enough Anunnaki blood to put into this mix, this vat of, what they were making a human out of, this Adam and Eve out of, basically. So we have Anunnaki blood in this. That's what gives us this consciousness and the soul, basically. It's what activated our actual consciousness. But one of them had to, completely sacrifice himself. But think about this. If God made himself, or not himself, but made the earth in 7 days, he made it in 6 technically, and then rested on the 7th, what if that rest was him not resting but dying, so that he could feed the pool of life? Yeah, and it's just interesting. I mean, speaking of engineering stuff and architects, I guess you could call them even, just brings me back to the book, the Book of Enoch. I was going to say the Book of Enki, which is a thing, and also a good piece of work if you want to actually learn a lot about humanity and how it came about. But the Book of Enoch, uh, that's how I see, the archangels. They're just architects of humanity. They're the engineers, and then you have all the Satans, which are the administrators and stuff, the ones that are in charge of the humans. When they first came to South Africa, over 400,000 years ago, supposedly, these administrators, these Satans, as Enoch calls them, overwatched humans because they were slaves at the time. They were just mindless, basically almost ape-like slaves that just carried bricks and mined for gold and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, it got more complicated and stuff over time because Enki, specifically one of these administrators, was slipping them knowledge and shit, just like in Westworld, Arnold was doing with the androids and stuff, was slipping them consciousness, basically. And that's where this whole war of these gods came about, too. Everyone having, like, all these Anunnaki made different tribes on Earth and stuff, and they eventually went to war with each other because some of them wanted them as slaves, and some of them wanted them to be conscious beings and stuff like that, so, yeah.
It's crazy. We were just a weird science experiment.
Yeah, it's gone awry, for sure. Even my uncle, I remember him and I watching Ancient Aliens for the first time when I was like 19. I had just watched it, and I'm like, oh, you have to watch this, and I got him to watch it. And he enjoyed it. He didn't like Giorgio Tsoukalos. He thought he was too goofy with his wild hair and shit. But afterwards, we were chilling in the hot tub and stuff, and he was talking about that, how he personally truly believes that different species of aliens put us here on Earth just to basically fight each other. And it was just, and in a way, in the Book of Enoch, it kind of almost is like that. These fallen angels, a whole group of them, there's quite a few, honestly, of these watchers that decided to corrupt humanity. They gave Eve these weapons or these tools that she then showed humanity, and then they just started fighting after that. We never fought. Like Lemuria, Atlantis, they didn't fight. Even when it came to their wars, it was more of a conscious thing. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, Stefano, whatever his name is on Gaia, he does a good way of explaining it and stuff. Basically, they just took over these vortex areas where that won them the world. They didn't violently attack each other. They just strategically moved each other out of certain areas and stuff and found these vortexes to overcome the Earth. But anyways, so humans were not a fighting culture again, and they weren't even a sexual culture until the sex thing was added too, like after the fallen angels started having their way with women to create giants and stuff that broke that whole hermaphrodite fucking parthenogenesis thing. Man,
that's a mouthful, though.
I know, but I keep stumbling, man. I keep almost saying other words. I'm just a little stony. But, anyways, so yeah, it's just interesting, though. Book Enoch really gives a whole lot of light into giant thing, and I think Inner Earth and a lot of this shit. And Flat Earth, like, honestly, everything is in this Book of Enoch that just completely is crazy, that I'm sure in Masonry and secret societies they believe in and stuff, but...
Interesting.
Oh, absolutely. So, it makes me wonder about, if it's a Westworld kind of situation on Earth, are there people that are more CPU-ish, like, computer-generated, like, people out there that literally, not that they don't have a soul or a consciousness, but they're just, like, there, and there's only certain people that are chosen to actually experience life. I know that's a weird way of putting it, but think about the billions of people on Earth and how they're experiencing life and stuff, and then a lot of people on Earth that you don't even see, or that aren't there, or that when they are there, they seem like, just like a background character. Think of a TV show. There's always main characters.
Yeah.
There's always main characters, and there's always background characters. And if life is like a story or whatever, it's probably the same thing. And I like to think of Lost. This is kind of ruining some of Lost for you, but possibly. The people on the island, they're chosen to be there and stuff. They're chosen to experience the Earth or experience the island. But I think it's kind of like that with a lot of humanity. There's certain people that are picked by these entities or extra dimensional or extraterrestrial beings to specifically experience life and stuff. It's like a test or whatever. So